following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. Racing and so much more here at the Darlington Raceway here in South Carolina. This 1.366 mile oval has been home of the Southern 500 since 1950, but tonight it's the All-American version. 200 miles of racing coming up here in just a few moments. I'm the Captain. We welcome you in on this Thursday evening as we're about 2 minutes away from qualifying here for the race. And before we really get into our pre-race festivities, there was some big news that broke today on the All-American side, and that is the first ever class of the All-American Hall of Fame. That was announced by Casey Carrington earlier today, and a pretty big deal to be announced here. It's something I didn't even know about. But Casey Carrington made the announcement today that Season 1 and Season 2 winner Johnny Eckert is going to be one of the first members into the Hall of Fame. He's the first ever All-American Cup Series champion. He's the all-time leader in wins, we say for now, because Mark Whitley is quickly catching him right now in the standings, but tons of wins there. Matthew Weeks, current driver here in the number 11 Mountain Dew car, he is the second driver that's going to be into the Hall of Fame, the all-time leader in fastest laps, and, of course, has plenty of wins, not to mention a two-time champion. And Mark Whitley. Yes, Mark Whitley. And I say two-time champion, correction, two-time team champion with Mountain Man Motorsports. Mark Whitley, the third member, though. Of course, Mark, 44 starts, 17 wins already in the series. And that's when I said for now for Johnny Eckert, because Whitley is catching him really quickly. And before we get to qualifying, I wanted to make sure we got that announcement out there. And I wanted to bring the boss man up here, Casey, and he's not in trouble, which is a good thing here, but I bring you up there as you're chasing the McDonald's car there, I notice on track. But you announced this Hall of Fame thing today. Obviously, a pretty big deal for All-American Cup Series racing.
Yeah, I feel like the least we could do to the guys that we inducted. I feel like those were, no offense to the other guys that were contenders, but kind of clearing away the three best drivers in league history. And something I've been planning to do pretty much all year. I was just waiting for the 100th race milestone to do it. And yeah, I was surprised to see the reception. I figured nobody would care, but obviously there was a good reception to it on the Discord, and I think people were going to be interested now, and, hoping to be about another year or so before we induct another class. And I heard some people that were wanting to step their game up to hope to be in the next class, so that's good.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be a little bit of a motivation type of thing here for some other drivers, but obviously some tough drivers to choose from amongst this group and the top three. But when did this idea come about?
I don't remember exactly. Like I said, it was about probably earlier in the year during the off season after season 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we need to do a Hall of Fame, and thinking about Johnny Eckert, he hasn't raced with us in a couple of years, and he just, his numbers are ridiculous. He is like the Richard Petty of this league.
Right.
And I was like, when we get to that 100th race, I need to honor him with a. At first, I was thinking maybe just make like a Hall of Fame and make him the first inductee. And I was like, no, I'll do it class wise, like how everybody does in real life. And
right.
And I was like, Whitley's obvious, and then Matthew was the next obvious choice, and there was a couple that just barely missed the cut that'll be leading the second class sometime next year. But yeah, I know you were kind of miffed at one person you felt that got snubbed, but
Hey,
like I said, all those PED allegations surrounding that 9 car, I don't know if he'll be getting in first or second ballot.
I'll leave you
Obviously, it
alone
wasn't
here.
first ballot.
I know you got to go qualify here, so we'll leave you to go do that. Best of luck here, and I'll explain to the viewers why I think that way. So, but best of luck here tonight. Appreciate your time.
Yep. Yep. Thanks you for all the 60 races you broadcasted now for the week, and thanks everybody watching.
All right, we're going for 100 on this end too.
Yep.
There you go. Hasty Carrington, of course, getting ready to put his CX2 car out there on track. As you see, qualifying is underway, presented by MHD. The Mike Husby Designs as Joseph McWhorter jumps up there to the top of the board. So I put out a thing on Discord today, and I said, all right, look, I totally have no problem with the 3, but I think there's somebody missing here, and there should be a 4th member put into the Hall of Fame. And I said it should be Casey. And it's not only because what Casey does on the track, but this man has ran this league for 8 seasons. And look what he's done. I mean, he's got, obviously some fantastic racing each and every season. He's got we got 40-something cars or close to 40 cars who are about to race here at Darlington, of all places. And he's always got big turnouts, always positive reception. And, he's worked really hard. And not to be unbiased here, but he did bring the captain in. So I tried to get it to work. Didn't look like it did. But my vote was for Casey Carrington to be also a first member, not because of his driving, only his driving. I mean, he's got a few wins, obviously, but definitely because, he was the man that put this whole thing together and has put on one of the best leagues in all of iRacing. So that's why, basically, I voted for that, just to clarify. So McWhorter still on the pole with Spence Thompson up there. 29.83 is the pole time, nowhere near the track record, by the way, which is a 28.3, I believe it was, ran by Whitley last season. As Peters, Lilith Peters, and what do you know, an Orion Newman paint scheme, that'll do it for you. Actually, sorry, that's a Jimmy Johnson paint scheme. I want to get the all-tells here mixed up, but he is on the pole right now with a 29.777, and a good lap there for the 01 car. As Peters on the pole right now. And still got a few more cars out there on the track. Let's see who else. I'm going to try to get a lap in. And here's the one of Stephen Miles, the Chicagoland winner. He is 11th right now as he races his way down the back straightaway here. Yeah, 29.234 is that record, by the way, by Willie last year. As you see, we're a good half second off of that. And Miles going to roll off the track here as he will qualify, it looks like, in the 11th position. Nick going there in the 12th spot. Nick Leo is 9th as Carrington on track right now as he looks like will qualify in the 11th position. Let's see who else. There's Craig Martin in the Captain eSports number 22. And hey, the mom and pop car of Nick Goen. How about that? The Neil Bonnet car from back in the mid-90s. 29.93 for Nick. He is 7th fastest. Let's see who else we got out here. Here's Matt. Here's Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame inductee, Matthew Weeks. Out on track is hello, Patty Heller from nearby Ohio. Hello to Amy Hope and Brantley Roden hanging out as per usual. Weeks 29.775 to the pole. Something told me he was going to be pretty good here tonight. Just ran a 500-mile race in another league last night. And he's looking pretty sporty right now in that 11 car. And here is Carolus Thiel. In the 018 car. This is the 41st car to run a lap. Stephen Melnick trying to run 2 laps. Wasn't able to do it. Johnny Barker hasn't tried a lap, but those are only 3 not to run a lap here so far, as qualifying officially is going to end right now. And let's go to the track and get you ready here for the race. Big shout out to Mike Husby at MH Designs for sponsoring the Pole Award, which will go to Hall of Famer Matthew Weeks. And what a moment there for the 11 car to get that pole, as looks like we're going to have a little heat race here. So we're going to get a couple minutes here to set up everything here. So 3 cars going to run. These are the 3, I believe, that are not going to make the race, it looks like. when it's all said and done. So Melnick, Barker, and Thiel will not run the event, but one guy that will run the event here, and he's going to be the pole sitter here tonight in the number 11. Let's bring him up here. How about Hall of Famer Matthew Weeks, who is going to be inducted, obviously, into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Matthew. An honor to be put on you there. First class of the Hall of Fame. You've done so many things in this series, and now you got a Darlington pole.
Yeah, it's a huge honor, man. I thank everyone that that put me in there, to be honest, or voted. I don't know how they did it and how Casey done it, but it's a huge honor, man. I appreciate it. It sucks I'm part-time this season since the schedule switched and all that, and I'm not able to race as much as I really want to race in this league, because between Elite and these are like my two favorite leagues. I love the group. I love racing these guys. It's always fun. And to come here and on Hall of Fame night, like you said, be one of the first guys in there with, I think, Johnny Eckert and Mark Whitley, to come here and put it on pole at my favorite track. Like, I adore this track, so it's a good night, dude. I like it.
Yeah, and within the 100 races here tonight, the 100th race, obviously in series history, your first win came all the way back in season 2 at Dover in 2021. Your first race was at Dover. Your first win was Daytona in 2022 there in August in season number 4. I believe a certain individual was at that race. You've made 79 starts in that time period, 7 wins, 6 poles. You've led over 1,150 laps. Not to mention, of course, you've helped at the time you were with Mountain Man get 2 team wins, season 4 driver championship. You've done a whole lot here in this series. So the obvious question here now is, what would it be like to win the 100th race?
Yes. I would love to, just because it's the 100th race and it's this track. We all remember what happened last season. I felt like I should have won this race, and something happened going to one with Mark there, and it was just a racing thing. But I want to win this race. Like, I ran a full distance race here last night in the Elite, our Southern 500, and I messed up early and had to play catch up all race. So this track, every time I come here, is where I want to win, and I've just been so unlucky in league races here. So hopefully tonight we flip the script and we put it in victory lane.
Well, obviously, it will be a great thing to do here this evening, Matthew, and it starts here on the pole, and you get to lead him to the green flag here, and maybe we'll see you in victory lane here tonight. So best of luck, bud.
All right, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hope y'all enjoy the show.
Sounds good. Matthew Weeks, the pole sitter here tonight, and obviously named to the Hall of Fame here in these All-American Cup Series. Congratulations to him. And I believe that, looking down here through chat, I believe that the 77 is obviously in his own chat here. So if we get a chance to, we'll talk to Whitley here, who's the other of the 3 guys here tonight. But, yeah, I mean, I wasn't here, obviously, for Johnny. I think I've broadcasted a few of his races, but obviously was the man to beat back in the heyday. Been here for Weeks, been here for Whitley now, and 3 deserving guys. I mean, there's so many names that could easily go on that ballot to be a Hall of Famer here in the All-American Cup Series. So great idea from Casey Carrington, and of course the 100th race here in the history of the series. We've been here for 6/10 of them, or 2/3, however you want to look at the math there. But we're looking forward to what can be coming up next here. But obviously getting a little bit more of an extended pre-race show here tonight because of this heat race that, I mean, technically I could go down there and race right now and win. But Corolla Steel went out there and ran all of 13 100ths of a lap and parked it. And I think we just waited out now or something. I'm sure Casey knows what to do here. So Mark is coming. All right, good. That gives me time here to talk to Mark. Mark is here now, so let's bring Mark in here. Mark, obviously, congratulations, man, on the Hall of Fame nomination. I think the more impressive part for you is the fact that you have not been here long at all. I mean, you made your first start in September of 2002, and in much like Mark Whitley's style, you won that race.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think I was just subbing for someone else that dress for that race. And after that, I was like, oh, it's a really good group of guys. So I came in, and I think I should have went 4 for 4 that season, but I just decided to go brain dead in the middle of 3 and 4 at Charlotte and just gave it up on the last lap. So, 3 out of 4 for my first start. This league's been great. We had the ARCA car, now we got this Gen 4 car. So it's been pretty fun and pretty challenging. All the different guys racing against, and some of the other Hall of Fame. I never got to race against Johnny, but racing against Matthew pretty much ever since I've been here, it's been pretty fun and intense. Me and him had some battles, had some run-ins, but we've always had a respect for each other. So it's cool to see both of us get in. I had no idea Casey was doing anything like this, and it caught me off guard, and I was really taken aback by it.
Obviously, as you get ready to start the warm-up here, as you're going to get out there and run a few laps here, I was just doing the math. You won 38% of your starts so far, it looks like here, if I did my math right, which is pretty good there. 17 wins and 44 starts. Is there a favorite one or a favorite moment out of all these races you've been a part of that you can think of?
My first win was pretty cool because I think I was battling. I think it was Toker at the time. I think it was him. Me and him battled like the whole race and came out on top. So that was really cool to get my first one. Last week was pretty cool too. Having to battle back through. I mean, they're all special in their own way, but I would say probably when I clinched the championship, the first championship, that was pretty special. Just so that's probably the most memorable because it was like the first championship. So hopefully we can have some more memorable moments here this season and maybe get a third one at the end of the year.
Well, the interesting part here is I look at the numbers tonight, the 100th race here in the series history, you could actually tie the all-time wins list with a win here at Darlington.
And that'd be pretty special. I think Darlington's probably my favorite racetrack just in the world. Like, right. I'm going there this weekend to watch the Xfinity Series race. So I would say it's probably not my best track per se on iRacing, but it's definitely my favorite. So hoping we're starting a little bit farther back than I wanted to. Took it a little bit more easy than I meant in qualifying. So we're starting 5th. Still up front, a lot of guys here. Hopefully we're going to see how the strategy plays out, and hopefully we can get the tires up under it and be talking to you at the end of the night.
That sounds good, man. Well, congratulations on the Hall of Fame nomination, and best of luck in the race tonight.
Sounds good, man.
Absolutely. Mark Whitley, appreciate his time as he joins us here in the booth, and he's going to go out there and run some laps in his Harpoon Design number 77 car as we get you ready for the start of this third running of the Southern 200 here at Darlington. And take a look at the point standings. Entering tonight's race, Justin Thompson leading James Silvers by 3 right now. Stephen Miles, Casey Carrington, Mark Whitley, their top 5 in the point standings as we enter tonight. And then obviously plenty of racing to go here in the season. Obviously Osborne, Giroux, Heller, Rogers, and Charles Van Schaik, they're your top 10 in the point standings. But another championship that's on the line here after season number 8 is this overall championship, which combines season 7 with season 8. And that's obviously 14 races over there and then 17 races combined now with the 3 that are complete. Whitley leads that by 26 over Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles, Christopher Hellers right there, and Joseph McWhorter put on 100 points also. So still this championship overall that could be won here this evening. Team points as Laser Racing has jumped up to the top there. Stephen Miles and crew up there at the top of the standings right now over CX2 by 14. Velocity Motorsports, they are there in the 3rd position right now. 2511 fell 3 spots all the way down to the 4th position. And Piston broke there in the 5th position. Lucy. As we complete the 3 races here so far. That's how we stand there. Let's take a look at the rookie points as we go into the series here. Is Spencer Thompson, Daniel Giroux, John Osborne all on top of another along with Charles Van Schaik. Of course, Callan Tony, Tyler Bellinger, Nick Goen, the Dean Machine there, and Jose Ruiz right close to your top 10 right now. But still plenty of racing to decide this point standings right now for the Rookie of the Year. Of course, that one's going to be always tight unless somebody gets out here and just runs consistently well throughout the season. Chevrolet stretching it a little bit. 11-point lead over Dodge here early, but Pontiac and Ford right there on the tailpipes of the Dodge, and then Toyota hanging out in the back and just waiting for the season, I think, to continue before they get up there. So plenty of racing to go here throughout this season, and obviously we have about a minute or so before we go racing here at the track Too Tough to Tame. So let's go hit the national anthem, come back and get you ready for the start here from Darlington.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, anthem complete. As we go trackside now, the starting lineup here for the third running of the Southern 200 here at Darlington Raceway, virtually on iRacing for the All-American Cup Series, with its presenting sponsor of Leaf Guard of Vermont. Matthew Weeks wins the pole, 29.775. He will start next to Lilith Peters there in the 01. Joseph McQuarterback, after missing a couple of races, he'll start next to Spence Thompson. Mark Whitley and Justin Thompson, no relation to the car in front of him. Justin starts in the 6th position, the Daytona winner there. Christopher Heller in the 7th position. Nick Gowen will start there on his outside. Kyle Ethier, Stan Carnathan returns to the series tonight. Zach Rogers, Nick Leo there in row number 6. Row 7 is Josh Dillon, John Osborne, Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles. Carrington has made all 100 starts, by the way, in the series, so this is ironically his 100th start. Makes sense, doesn't it? A little bath. Ryan Strunk and Mike Cusby there in row number 9. Row 10, Tyler Bellinger and Brandon Barkuski. Row 11, the Dean Machine and Steve Ritter. 12th row, James Silvers and Brad Delph. Charles Van Schaik and Justin Ray in row 13. Hunter Cannon and Jose Ruiz in row 14. Christopher Murphy and Jake Vanoski. Max Schlosser and Nick Sargent there, row 16. Kyle Hall, Daniel Giroux in the 17th row. Craig Martin back here in row number 18 alongside Matthew Casbaro. Dylan Rosenberg, Trevor McLaughlin in row 19, and the 20th row, Austin Bloom and the big Legowski, Dan Legowski there in the 20th row, spot number 40. Of course, those drivers you saw in the little heat race there, those 3 drivers did not make the race. Corolla Steele, Stephen Melnick amongst those drivers who did not make the field here tonight, unfortunately, for this Southern 200. Race information as they go through turn 1 and 2 here. It is 147 laps to make up the 200 miles. 83-degree track temperature, middle of the day, as the Southern 500 should always be ran, by the way. 50% humidity, cloudy skies. Should be a very interesting day. We'll see how much the grip works out here, but these cars are going to be slipping and sliding, and should be a lot of fun. As they roll down the back straightaway here one last time, as this officially the 4th trip to Darlington. They did run in season 6 and also season 5, which was the Carolina 200. So they've run here a 3rd time, but for the 3rd race here in the fall season, it is the Southern 200 here at the Darlington Raceway as the fans get on their feet as Heller Weeks and Peters leave them to the green flag here at Darlington. The track too tough to tame. We are green in the 100th All-American Cup Series event. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook in the iRacing forums at trackcams22.com. Everybody through turn 2. Christopher Dean way down at the bottom of the track as McWhorter looking inside of Peters. Charles Van Schaik did not make it to the grid. He's actually starting on pit road, it looks like here, as Peters almost loses the car, and here comes Whitley to the inside. Peters a little bit of a shaky start. Oh, and now Darlington stripes her. Tires are going to be the theme here tonight. As McWhorter put a lot of pressure already on. He gets a little free off turn 4. I mean, that could have been bad from the start. As top 3 already pulling away. I'm out a second over Spence Thompson. Heller up to 5th already as Lilith Peters has already fallen to the 7th position after starting outside of the front row. So that 01 car got to kind of catch his grips here because those tires are probably pretty mad right now already in this race. You see McWhorter put the pressure on the 11 here. You wonder, will Matthew move over and let McWhorter go to start with here, or are they going to race hard? I mean, Darlington's Darlington, but people race it different. You get some people that are going to be aggressive. You got some people that will move over and let the guy go and hope that the favor gets repaid later. McWhorter run off turn 2, uses the draft. Here he goes to the quarter panel. As Matthews going to carry the speed off the corner. And just by a nose there, Weeks leads him, but turn 1's going to be tricky here. Let's see what Weeks does. He's going to battle and keep the battle going here. Turn 2 is going to be tricky, though, and McWhorter takes the lead. As behind them, Thompson, Heller, and Justin Thompson start to come into the battle. 4th, 5th, and 6th. There are some good battles going on around this track, but up here at the front right now is where it's mainly going here. As now Whitley, flashbacks. And I think Weeks has learned his lesson. He's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and play this one nicely in a turn 1. As Whitley moves to 2nd. Weeks back to 3rd here early in this race. Weeks talked about it before the race got started. That contact amongst those two last year that cost both of them the win here. Here comes Heller to the inside the 8 car. Bringing the 3 with him of Justin Thompson. They'll both go by Spence Thompson. And up to 4th and 5th they go. So 2nd time here in a row, 2 nights here at Darlington. Oh, Thompson, hold on. Both of them need to hold on there. Go back here in the pack a little bit. Matt Schlosser and Justin Ray, as Ray gets up there and gets a Darlington stripe, as Schlosser's going to go by in the 04 car. What in the world is that on his hood? Well, help me with this. Old Mother Brewing Company. All right. Well. And he's in a Nissan, oh, by the way. Look at this. It's our first non-traditional car out here. Let's see, Nissan. This is probably the Sentra, I would have to guess. Oh, no, Fair Lady right here. Is that the Fair Lady? I don't know the Sentra. I don't know. But Nissan on the track here in the 04. The cool thing about this this car, you can go out and put different models out here on the track. So one of the cool things Casey Carrington did is some of these drivers out here tonight, he actually put S1 on their names in the room so people who have been here forever basically can kind of get honored a little bit. Now, unfortunately, on my end, I'm only seeing 1. but I know there's been a lot of guys who have been here since that first season and that first race that was ran in the All-American Cup Series. There's a Bugatti out here. Wait a what? Who's got the Bugatti? I mean, I go back to my first season here. Back in season, I don't even remember, 3 or 4. We had different cars out here everywhere. We had Porsches. We had, as Casey Carrington going past, or thought he was going to go past Nick Leo for position. But we had Porsches, we had, I mean, I think there were Mazdas even out here. I mean, there was everything but like Fiat. As McWhorter leads by 1/10 of a second, we're going to go find it. Where's the Bugatti? Let's see, Chevy, Charger, Pontiac Grand Prix. Okay, there's the Monte Carlo. There's a Monte Carlo. There's a Monte Carlo. There's a Dodge. There's a Charger. There's a Charger. Impala. Impala. I didn't get to see what Strunks is. There's a Chevy. See, Arnton's got the Chevy. There's a Dodge. There's 2 Dodges. Osborne's got the Impala. Barkuski with the Grand Prix. Miles with the Camaro. Taurus for Ritter. We're going to get this figured out. There's a battle back here. There's that Nissan coming through the field again. As the 04 makes another pass. Good pass there by Schlosser. As we continue to go Bugatti searching. More Chevy. Oh. Nick Sargent about got into the back of the 42 there. Another Charger. There's a couple Chevys. There's, I don't even know what Craig Martin calls that. There's a Fusion. A Chevy. There's a Grand Prix again. All right. I didn't find the Bugatti. Who's got the Bugatti? Didn't make the race. Oh. Well, there you go. You got a full look of every car in the field tonight, so. Oh. Hey, look here. Lilith Peters under attack as here comes Zach Rogers, the 19 car. As they both follow the 31 of Nick Goen there in that Mom and Pop's the Neil Bonnet machine. Of course, I see that Mom and Pop's car on the track. I can't help but think about the Talladega race in '93. That was, I mean, a race that went very long because of multiple scary wrecks. That was the race where Jimmy Means flipped out of the track, and in the same wreck, Stanley Smith had an injury similar to Earnhardt's, but somehow survived. He fought for his life for a long time. Neil Bonnet flew up into the Kenchvets. And what else happened in that race? I know Earnhardt won it. But, I mean, you name it, everything happened in that race. They had delayed. They had to, like, switch TV networks that day. I mean, there was a whole bunch of issues. I think it was a rain-delayed race, too. Back here, John Osborne, the 81 car. Inside the 12 of Josh Dillon. And he's going to make the pass there along with the 6 there. Mike Husby and Stephen Miles back here. This is 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th right here. In this series, you got to remember, we do not run the full fuel tanks here. So because of that, you're only looking at about 42 laps of fuel there as I see cars scrambling. Down the back straightaway. Miles going to get the outside run there and take the position away from Mike Husby as McWhorter continues to lead. Weeks is back up to second as you wonder if he's got himself a pretty good long run car. But look at Heller here in that 8. Looking pretty sporty here. Had a good run going last week before things broke down. Got Mama watching, of course, is always cheering her son on. One of like 5 Hellers I know now. I have a couple of them that I deliver to regularly here in Fort Wayne. So there's Hellers everywhere. As up front, you see the pass right ahead there. Matthew Weeks past McWhorter. And back to the front goes the pole sitter at lap number 20. As already seeing some lap time fall off here, a second to 2 seconds here early in this Southern 200, the All-American Cup Series. Ooh, Heller just got the wall a little bit there, a little stripe. So cool little story here. Is one to share this really quickly. A gentleman reached out to me earlier this week, and I wanted to give him a little shout out because he shared some cool words and shared some really cool things that he's working on. It's a gentleman named Tom DeFronzo, who is over on Facebook. If you look up Tom DeFronzo, it's spelled D as in dog, A-F-R-O-N-Z-O. You look him up on Facebook here. He's got a design company called Tom DeFronzo Designs, and he reached out to the captain and check out some of these logos, as he has been inspired by just different race logos each week, as he goes and kind of redesigns some things, puts different logos together for like trophies and stuff. And here's something that he's put together here so far. I just want to give him a shout out, of course, checking this out here tonight. But if you're looking for somebody to help you out and stuff, there's some race logos and stuff really cool here. But a big shout out to Tom DeFronzo and his design company. Appreciate what he does. Appreciate him reaching out to the captain. As 23 laps complete, you see everybody sliding around here a little bit. Then you go back here, everybody's in a big old group. See who's in this mess here. Josh Dillon, I see Barkuski, I see the 04 Schlosser. Mike Husby is in here, so a lot of cars in this battle here. This is right back around the top 20 positions. Barkuski going to go past Steve Ritter, maybe for position. Not able to get around him, clear him. A Leaf Guard of Vermont car looking pretty solid here. Off turn 2, always tricky right here, where you're going to see a lot of cars get loose, a lot of cars lose momentum. Barkuski got out of it, lives another day here in that Elliott Henderson graphics car. And there's John Silvers, James Silvers. Second week in a row calling him John. As Hunter Canyon makes a unscheduled stop. And Legowski was on pit road just a minute ago in that 35 car. So Weeks has pulled away to 0.8 of a second over McWhorter, who's gone 1.6 over Mark Whitley, who is now starting to fall back into the clutches of the 8 of Heller, the 89 of Thompson, and the 31 of Nick Goen here, who's having a good run so far in this race. Kyle Ethier making some moves, going to bring Casey Carrington with him. Has a very nostalgic look right here in these 5 positions. That's what makes this racing very interesting, especially in these series of Gen 4 cars. Is you get all these throwback paint schemes, even though they're actual paint schemes on the cars here in this race. Nah, Brantley, you're all good. I mean, that's cool to know there's a Bugatti. I'll have to look for it next week. But I appreciate the viewers hanging out here tonight. Just saw it hit 25 there for a minute. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not so new and you hang out here all the time, we appreciate it. And I'm going to promise you a surprise here very shortly. Not today, but coming here on the network shortly. There's going to be a surprise coming from the viewers. And it is something you are going to like. Kyle Hall on pit road now. Another potential unscheduled pit stop here at lap 30. As you see the 01 go back by of Peters past Carrington. Lilith is just having the ups and downs here, unfortunately, in this race. One car on the move. Let's jump back here. 26th position, Dylan Rosenberg. This guy here has already gained 11 positions, started 37th, and has that AC Delco car sparking up through the field, if you will. And in 26th right now, obviously plenty of room to gain, but doing pretty well here so far in the 91 car. Some issues for Nick Sargent, apparently, I've been told. Let's see what happened to the 24. This happened right where? Oh, he gets turned down onto the apron here and is able to save it, but since he's so far down the track, no caution. Oh, well, hold on. Surprised there was not a caution for that. Wow. But a great time to lock it down, and we stay green. Oh, Whitley under attack as here comes Goins to the inside. As Sargent coming to pit road right now. Matthew Casbaro using the proper lane on the track for cars that are slower. He went all the way down the pit road pretty much and said, y'all go on by. Didn't want a piece of that at all. As Heller tries to make moves in that A car. He's been riding behind Whitley here most of this race. There's Thompson behind him, Spencer that is. And you've got a whole crew of cars now behind Whitley. As Casbaro comes to pit road now. And again, if you want to get a chance to, share the stream out with your friends and family. If you know somebody who likes watching iRacing streams, put it out there to the word. It's getting to that point now. We're entering September here shortly that I'm starting to think about those awards that come at the end of the year. You know, last year I didn't think so much about them, but then I realized how mad I was that I didn't win one. So I was going to push myself this year to have the best year yet as Willie gets a stripe. So this is your chance. Push the channel out there, promote it, whatever you can do to help out the captain. It'll be much appreciated. Tell two friends, tell two friends. As Whitley under attack now. Kyle Ethier roaring up here through the field. To the inside of Zach Rogers there, you see Carrington. Kind of stuck behind Justin Thompson. There's each of these people just trying to work their way up through the field, but it's got to be very careful. This lane is not the widest here. That's what makes Darlington so interesting. And Whitley, I think, has got called to pit road because here he pulls down on one of the hardest pit roads in all of racing. You're in the Sandhill region, which means the cars don't want to turn down there in the apron. And Whitley and Lilith Peters going to come to pit road here. And caution comes out. Barkuski has gone around. And the first yellow on the track. And for the second straight night here at Darlington, somebody gets screwed by the caution. Let's see what happens to Barkuski here. Your car get out of shape right there in front. That's Kyle Hall. And Schlosser there in front as Barkuski goes into the corner here. And oh, they check. Oh, Steve Ritter got turned into the 04. And that ended up actually being 4 cars. As Schlosser gets some damage along with Barkuski, Ritter, and others here. come back to the replay here in just a moment, but let's go trackside here to pit stops. That's pretty much all the leaders on pit road here. Could be 4 tires and fuel for everyone here. And race off pit road goes to McWhorter, who outruns Matthew Weeks off of pit road by about a second. Good stop for McWhorter, bad stop for Whitley. And Mark Whitley actually stays out now in the 77 car. So some interesting strategy here going on. I wonder if Whitley was just trying to catch the pace car so he wouldn't get lapped here potentially. But Joseph McWhorter, 14.4 second stop. More of a slower stop, it looks like, for the 11 car. All right, let's show the caution again here. You see Kyle Hall was off the pace here. And you see the 88 of Tyler Bellinger goes in the corner, and you see, I see the tire marks as he's locked up, but unfortunately some yeet jobs for the 16. Let's see this again, because you're going to see real closely here as we go to the, let's actually do the rear chase, because you're going to see smoke off the 88's tires here. Maybe not. I thought it did. I thought I saw smoke. I don't know. That makes it interesting for that camera. All right, so first caution here of the evening at lap number 40. And I want to give a shout out to the presenting sponsor here, of course, of the All-American Cup Series. I shouldn't say presenting sponsor, a premier partner of the All-American Cup Series. Leaf Guard of Vermont. You should get it today and be protected for life. Of course, fall coming up here very shortly. I'm already noticing here in Indiana, some of the leaves on these trees are changing colors, and you're going to see it in your neck of the woods here soon. And if you have trees above your house, guess what's going to be in the gutter here soon? Yep, those leaves. Make sure you get it protected with Leaf Guard in your area. If you're in Vermont, call Steve Ritter. Davey Hazard checking in the chat here this evening. Or Mint Age. Track again built back in 1950, hosted the Southern 500 ever since then. Back then though, the Southern 500 was actually ran on actual Labor Day. It wasn't specifically on a Sunday or anything like that. Cars spinning the tires back there, and around goes the 81 as Osborne gets turned off the track. No caution yet as he's off the track still. He's going to get her up there and rolling. I saw a lot of wheel spin there as McWhorter leads him to the green. But basically back in the old heyday, they ran this race on Labor Day. Whatever day that came on that Monday, that was when this race was ran. Of course, all the way up until the early 2000s when they decided to send it over to Auto Club Speedway in California. And that one, that irked a lot of race fans when that happened. Of course, it's been moved back ever since. Somebody's got the wall back there, and They're tangling up back here, 3-4 wide. 42 of Vanoski's the one that got the wall. Looks like everybody else able to sort it out. Mark Whitley, of course, in that battle. Got to be careful here walking through the field. He's got his spotter there looking out for him there in Brantley Roden. And Vanoski with more issues back here. He's in the wall. Bellinger's going to go by. There goes the 35 buying others. Not sure if he's got a broken piece or a meatball or something. That car is just weaving. We'll have to see what's going on there. Battle for the 7th position here. Carrington to the inside of Ethier, bringing Thompson with him. Oh, Dale and Rusty beating on each other again, just like back in the heyday. Up still eating each other is Dale and Rusty. And Rusty ends up in the street. Oh, now he's really in the wall hard. Kyle Ethier. I don't know if he had, I think he had help on that last shot. It sent him back up into the wall. And he's got heavy damage. He's going to keep going here. But knowing Kyle, he's probably not a happy camper. Get you a replay here really quickly of what happened to Ethier. So he's battling there with Thompson. They just start dooring each other. Side by side here in the turn 2. Kyle's going to get the wall, and then right back here. Oh, right there, he gets loose into Nick Leo. Oh. Unfortunately, heavy damage for him as McWhorter leads it by 1/10 of a second now over Matthew Weeks. Heller third, with going there in fourth, and Spence Thompson the top 5 here. Rogers, Carrington, Thompson, Stan Carnathan having a good run there. Stephen Miles, your top 10. Here's how much different racing is from 1950 to now. I mean, obviously 75 years later. In 1950, there were cars running the Southern 500, and they were running out of tires really quickly. So what did they do in that race? Believe it or not, they went out into the garage area and to where cars were parked in the infield and were literally putting tires on their cars from passenger cars in the race. Amazing how times have changed. As Kyle Hall back to pit road, unscheduled stop for the Florida native. As back here, good battles for the 18th, 19th, 20th position. Here's Whitley inside of the 21, and Murphy, they almost hit each other. There's Barkuski behind them. The Dean machine there in the 48. If you're Whitley here, just be patient. Pick them off one at a time and work your way forward. He did it last week at New Hampshire. He was able to pick them all off and go to victory lane. Can he do it here again tonight? Another record that will never, and I mean, if this record ever gets touched, it would have to be some kind of anomaly for it to happen. But a record that will never be touched in NASCAR history here at Darlington. Happened back in the 1960s when old gentleman Ned Jarrett, yes, the father of Dale Jarrett, the TV Ned, won the Southern 500. Now, okay, that sounds traditional, you know. Legendary driver winning that race. Well, he didn't win it by just 2 seconds, or 4 seconds, or 6 seconds, or 10 seconds, or 35 seconds. He didn't win the race by a lap. He didn't win the race by 2 laps. He didn't win the race by 3 laps. He won the race by 14 laps. Yes, this is a NASCAR race, oh, by the way. 14 laps. Biggest win margin in NASCAR history. Won't be touched. I believe that was 64 when that happened. Lilith Peters, outside pole sitter in a battle back here. That's Daniel Giroux in the yellow number 92, yellow paint scheme, orange paint. Steve Ritter there in the 16. Jose Ruiz behind him there in the 23. Check back here on Kyle Ethier. He is trying to hold on strong here. Both. Oh, and now more door banging. And Ethier into Whitley and sends him sideways. What in the world? And now Ethier's hard in the wall again. And caution's coming out. And looks like the caution's actually for Tyler Bellinger and Lilith Peters, who have gone around. As it looks like we had multiple wrecks here. There's Lilith up here in the middle of this battle. There's the oh. Lilith, I think, checked up and got clobbered by somebody. Oh, and over he goes. Well then. As leaders back on pit road. This will give everybody a chance to take a break here for a second. As temper's starting to flare here in the Southern 200. That should be enough laps to do 4 tires and fuel here. I don't know, they just pitted about 15 laps ago here, so let's see if it's fuel only for some cars. And no, I'm seeing tires and fuel again here, so Charles Van Schaik stays out, but McWhorter, Weeks, Heller, Goen, and Thompson, your top 5. Carrington, Rogers, Justin Thompson, Stephen Miles, your top 10. Let's see all this again here. This gonna start with Ethier and Whitley having an argument with each other here. And then back here, they're just going to tangle up. Lilith gets contact from that blue car. And unfortunately, Bellinger just kind of puts him up and over. See, was there more of that? Or did it just like all of a sudden happen right there? All right, let's see here. They're side by side into turn 1. Oh! There's always an answer. unfortunately, Lilith Peters got the worst end of that whole thing. But that's some argy-bargy right there. All right, 60 laps in. We're just shy of the halfway point here at the virtual Darlington Raceway. Appreciate the viewers watching here this evening. 28 strong. Already getting 84 views. That's cool. Got to get caught up again on the shorts on YouTube. I try to get them all edited and stuff before the weekend and then start posting them as much as I can. But still got a little bit of racing to catch up on. But if you like those YouTube shorts, just keep watching, and more will be coming here probably this weekend, especially with it being Labor Day weekend. I'll have a broadcast Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so maybe I'll drop multiple per day or something like that and just get them out there so you can see what has happened here on the Captain Esports Network throughout as we come back to the green flag here at lap number 60. Somebody spun the tires back here. The 89 to Thompson Spence, that is. Quarter, but a good restart over weeks. Oh, Daniel Giroux in trouble as he spins into the inside wall. No caution, he's out here on his own as here comes Craig Martin back on track in the Captain Morgan Chomper, or whatever you want to call that thing. As Leo gets the outside wall, right on cue as Mr. Spanky Jr. shows up in the stream. Looks like some guys here just gotta settle down, get yourself back into rhythm. Cannot let the old attitude get in the way of a good race. And you wonder how much, let's go back here and look at Whitley, how damaged his car is now from the side-by-side tussle with the two. I see a little bit of right front damage. Otherwise, 77 looks okay. Oh, hold on there. 42 Vinosky about wiped out for 24. That would not have been good. Unfortunately, Vinosky is having a rough time here. Zebal got crossed up right in front of Bellinger there. There's a 0-0 behind them. That's Charles Van Schaik. Go up here to the fourth position is Nick Goen and Casey Carrington battle. Nick having a great run again tonight here as he's early in his career here in the All-American Cup Series and has had a couple of good runs here so far in that 31 car. Runs in fourth right here behind Heller. I am starting to see a battle for the lead shaping up again. As Weeks putting that pressure on the 73 of McWhorter. Down in the 3 and 4, you see Heller right there, just kind of riding about a half-second back. Weeks moves up about a half a groove here, trying to get the run off the corner. Porter looking to get back in the victory lane here tonight. Runner-up in the points last season. Had to miss a couple races. Been out there doing his own racing in real life. That's why you haven't seen him for a couple weeks here and there. Obviously, best of luck to Joe in his racing adventures. I think was he in Daytona for that endurance race I think they had down there? That 6-hour thing that he does? I remember seeing something about it. I just forget what it's called. A race like a week or two ago down there. Check on Mark Whitley back here, 25th position. Car probably not to his liking right now as Mark just tries to work on the car and get the best he can right now. He's about 3/10 back from Sargent there, and that's 24th. Cars off the track right now. Craig Martin, Lilith Peters, Matthew Casbar, and Hunter Cannon. 4 cars off the track here so far as we're just past the halfway point here. Let's check in on Josh Dillon. He's got Brandon Barkuski behind him for 14th. And bam, Josh, that is not how you enter turn 1. Up front, here comes Weeks. And to the front he goes, Matthew Weeks. And lap 73, and McCorder right back on his bumper. Just going off the Carrington math, I know a lot of cars were kind of pitting earlier. But you do 57 and 42, that gets you right up to lap 99 of 147. So should see pit stops in the next 20 laps, we'll call it. To be safe, 20 to 25. McCorder let Weeks go, and then he is just stuck to his bumper. So this is cool down here for a moment. Let's go back here to 5th because I see Carrington and Thompson looking to make a move here on going potentially. Guys battled all out here. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th here in the picture. Zach Rogers back there haven't said his name too much. He's there in the 7th position. Stephen Miles back here in 9th. They're just hanging out here at the edge of the top 10. Mike Cusby having a good run in 10th. And look back here at 11th now. Here is Dylan Rosenberg. Started 37th and is up to 11th here. In the 91 car, just running consistent lap times. Doing a great job here this evening. James Silver's about 0.7 of a second behind him. you get an opportunity, make sure you check out 40racewear.com. 40 Racewear, home of shoes and gloves, shirts. I heard Matt Telder say last night in the league race he's got a jersey now that you can wear and so much more. Check out 40racewear.com. You never know what Jim Herrick will pop up there for you and you have a chance to purchase and have on, but especially with the shoes and the gloves, how it can help your iRacing experience. The shoes are very comfortable. Think of wrestling shoes if you were one who did high school wrestling or whatever, except with the sole at the bottom. That's the difference, basically. With those shoes, they're very comfortable to wear, and you can do it right there on your Sims. Check out 40racewear.com for details. "79 laps completed." Stan the man, if you will. The 97 car trying to pass Silvers here. Nick Leo back behind them. 25th here. This is an actual side-by-side battle. Here is Charles Van Schaik to the inside of the 24 of Sargent. And then Steve Ritter, who was involved in this contact a little bit ago, right in front of them in 23rd. The 66 of Trevor McLaughlin. Another guy up here having a halfway decent run. Brad Delph, the Snap Fitness number 14. Will lose a spot to the 21 of Christopher Murphy for the 17th position. But Brad hanging on there strong in the 18th spot. One of the season 1 guys right here in that 14 car. Been here from the start. As Daniel Giroux is going to come to pit road in the 33rd position. So unscheduled stop there. What I'm noticing up front is Weeks has not gotten away from McWhorter. After taking the lead away, McWhorter's hung tight there, and they both have driven away from Heller in the 3rd position. As Nick Sargent going to go by. And right behind them, you see Osborne and McLaughlin battle it out, and unfortunately for Mark Whitley, he has fallen back a few spots here in the last few laps to the 28th position. So that contact between he and the 2 car of Kyle Ethier has obviously hurt that 77 car very badly, and that's not going to make Mark happy. And if Mark's not happy, I can tell you Brantley's not happy, and if Brantley's not happy, that means, well, others aren't happy. I see the right front damage on the car. Gotta wonder what else could be damaged in that number 77. Mark said earlier this is one of his favorite tracks, so you can only imagine how fast he really is here. He's right on board with Carrington. Let's right on board here with the 9. 100th start here in the 100th race, gets himself a stripe. He'll blame me for that. And let's see what kind of speeds he's running here. This will be top speed down the back straightaway here. 176 miles an hour. He'll slow this car way on down. Go back to the throttle. He'll get some speed here, but obviously won't lose as much through the corner here. There's a double apex turn 1 and 2. Want to cross the lines here, right up top. Let the car set and about right here. Turn her back down. You want to hit this apex right there. And I say it all the time. It's, you ever played Mario Kart, which who didn't? You got those arrows that help you gain speed. I've always felt that anytime you nail turn 2 at Darlington right, it's like hitting those stripes, and you just take off down the straightaway. So 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th right here. should be getting ready for a round of green flag pit stops. I think Darlington's one up. Never mind, caution's out. Right on cue. Caution waves. I do not see who. You just heard me rhyme. And it's not showing me any highlights of anybody wrecking here, so caution is out somewhere on the track for the third time here, lap 88. Well, let's see if I click the yellow flag, if it goes and finds it for me. Of course it does not. Let's look around here for a second. Let's click on random names. Oh, do we have a winner? Justin Ray was off the track. Let's see if it was him. It wasn't Ray. Ah, what's it right here? Worst case scenario, I never get a chance to show this much, so I can show you another trick here. Oh, somebody's up in the wall there. I just found where it is. As everybody checks up, so we got cars on pit road. And I think it might be Sargent. We'll have to see if it was one of those Jeff Gordon cars. As Weeks overshoots its pit stall. And that'll probably help McOrder come right off pit road here first. Let's see. With ease. There he goes. And Weeks is going to lose second to going at the same time. All right, so let's see. I think I know who the yellow is. We're going to guess here. Was the caution for Nick Sargent in the 24. Give me a second. Everybody's coming to pit road, so all my highlights are now pit stops. So I have to scroll up to the yellow. Here it is. So let's see. Was it Sargent? It was not. It was a car in front of him. Ah, right there. The 67 Orion Strunk. Try again. Ah, contact with the 00, Charles Van Schaik. So there's your caution right there. Oh, while we're under yellow, this gives me an opportunity. I'll show you guys this trick, by the way. Or if you ever want to know, if you're ever streaming or want to know where a caution is, if you have a situation like this and you can't find where the caution is, so you go back. I'm going to go to the yellow flag here for a second. Of course, it's going to happen right there. But you rewind. Obviously, you can't find a caution. So let's go right here. You go into your iRacing screen. And you go find the pace car. And yes, I'm actually using iRacing controls right now. You go to the pace car. And you hit the play button. And you wait for the pace car lights to come on. The old trick right here. I learned this trick years ago. Right there. Pace car lights are on. And from there, you click back on the race screen and you go find who's wrecked. And in this case, we already know it. It's the 00 and 67. There you go. We've learned something today. So McOrder and Weeks have led the most laps here so far this evening. After 91 laps. Question is, can Weeks get back up there? And now as Nick Gowen has joined this battle up here in the second position. After Weeks overshot his pit stall a little bit there. Heller up to third. Of course, Thompson, Carrington, Zach Rogers, Stephen Miles. Mike Husby, Spence Thompson, your top 10. As we come to the green flag, your chance to turn those speakers up right now as we turn it up here as we go green. Six laps complete. As we're back under the caution. Just setting the screen back up. We got a little bit of a wreck here. Tyler Bellinger involved. Looks like Matt Schlosser, Steve Ritter with some damage. As McLaughlin has taken his car to the garage. And a pretty good wreck right here, bringing out the caution with 50 laps to go. The Southern 200. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage and see what happened. Probably not going to be so much beautiful bean footage here for the cars involved. Oh, wow. On the middle of the straightaway. I'll have to get a blimp view of that. All right, there's 38 of Justin Ray, 35 of Legowski. There's Bellinger and Ritter. Oh, I see. Okay, 66 is up against the wall and comes off the wall, and unfortunately, cars just pile in. And some don't slow down, apparently. Let's see. Amy Hope. Where's Weeks from? I believe he is from Virginia. Who's the car that came in late there? No crash cam here. 66 running up there by himself. He just accidentally puts himself up in the outside wall here and gets off the wall. 35 runs him over. 16 gets him. And then, bam, there's a hit from the 04 of Schlosser. I appreciate the viewers hanging out here tonight on the Captain eSports Network. Let's pull up the schedule for the season now. It's not been updated from last week, so you can see only the two scratch-out marks here. Loudon obviously completed last week. Darlington tonight, and then next week we go to Michigan Speedway, where these cars will be hitting 200 miles an hour with ease in a turn one. Michigan next Thursday night here on the Captain eSports Network. As we're almost halfway already in this 8th season. of All-American Cup Racing. Thanks to the presenting sponsors, the premier partners of Leaf Guard of Vermont, and also a shout out to Sim Racer Hubs. Of course, Clayton Sneed, who does a lot of work over there with a bunch of partners. They've done a great job with that website. I learn about it more and more each week. It allows me to go over here to the Sim Racer Hub page right now and tell you some cool stats. Like, here, let's share some stuff here about Darlington. This is the, of course, 4th race we mentioned at the track. And you want to talk about a helter-skelter of cautions here. The first race ran back in March of 2022, won by Tate Lytle. And that race only had 1 caution in 147 laps. Casey Carrington winning in season 6. That was October of last year. That race went caution-free. And then Christopher Heller won a race in March of 2023. That was season number 5. And that was a streak breaker, if I remember correctly, for Heller. Had 10 cautions. Right now we're in the middle. All right, going to come to the green flag here, lap number 100. As McWhorter continues to lead here. Has anybody got anything? I know Weeks has been up there during the long runs here, but can anybody compete with those 2 cars? They've been the fastest, it appears, in this race so far. Green flag back out as McWhorter launches into turn 1. Of course, now we're at a point of this race where you got to set yourself up here for the finish. Don't know what tires are left on what cars. I know everybody's made at least 3 pit stops in this race, and if that's the case, you know, what tires do you have left is the $1 million question here. You know, everybody, I believe, should have a set of tires left in this race. It just depends on how much you've changed them. As here's Thompson looking for the lead. Inside, Thompson is of Heller. In a battle for 3rd. Check that. Battle for 4th is going. Heller gets the wall. Should say going has actually moved to 2nd, so apologize there. Missed that one. But now Heller unfortunately falling back. Here's Silvers. There's Mike Husby. And there's contact between Silvers and Heller. Racing now starting to pick up here just a little bit. How about Nick going up here, 2nd position? He's been just kind of hanging out here in the top 5. Is it his time to make a move here this evening? It looks like Heller's got his stuff collected back up here as he now rides right here behind Mike Husby and James Silvers in the 17 car. Still 41 laps to go. Still got at least one pit stop to get to the end of this race, and that's why I bring up the tire strategy, as these two just came together a minute ago, and now they're fighting for the 18th position. And Scheich making a pass. We did have some cars come down under the lap 99 caution, by the way. Top off the fuel cell, Mark Whitley, John Osborne, Stephen Miles, Austin Bloom. Those on the lead lap that came in and at least put fuel in the car. Let's keep an eye on what they do here in the middle of this race. Weeks putting that pressure on at 31. Just trying to find the right spot to make this pass for position. And thank you, viewers, for hanging out here tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new, then we do appreciate you coming and hanging out again on the Captain Esports Network. We always ask you to please share the stream with whoever you know, friends, family, your pets. Hey, you never know. We'll watch this battle with Matthew Weeks trying to get the second position here from Goen, and he will take it. So here comes the guy who's probably been the best car on the long run, the 11 of Matthew Weeks. Quarter by about 1/10 of a second now. Make that 2/10 over Weeks, who's got 2/10 over Goen. The top 7 right now under a blanket. And again, you got the one more pit stop here. Do you split this thing halfway and get tires and fuel if you have any? Do you run this thing as far as you can go? Back here as these guys have settled down for a second is Dean, who we haven't said his name really much tonight. Charles Van Scheich, Brad Delph, Nick Sargent, Ryan Strunk. All these guys battling it out. All fixed setups here that you see in the guys race here, meaning they have everything the same in all the cars. It's literally the guys is racing on the rigs at wherever they race from, and they are literally able to make 3 adjustments: the brake bias, steering ratio, and of course the steering offset. Only three things you can change in a fixed setup car. Tries to put everybody in even positions as Heller gets past Silvers for 8th. Silvers gets a real good corner off, but Heller makes the pass and clears and moves on. In the battle here now, being the 3 about to be under attack here from the 9. You got the lead battle now starting to shape up as you're starting to see the comers and goers who saved their tires well in the long run, trying to get this lead, or trying to get to the lead, I should say. 31 laps to go in the Southern 200, the third running of it. As Carrington looks to the bottom here, trying to make the run on Justin Thompson. And Justin's going to give it up to him. As the 9 passes a 3, here comes Spence to the inside looking. Not able to make the move. Let's go back to the front because pressure is on. Weeks was there within a 10th. Now Thompson, both Thompsons battle it out. Been good racing here throughout. Haven't had many caution flags here tonight. Been phenomenal battles. We've seen cars come up through the field. Looks like Rosenberg, who was the hard charger throughout the race, had moved up like 27 or 28 positions in the first 50 laps. Has all of a sudden stalled out here at about the 14th, 13th position in the 91 car. Daniel Giroux leaving the pit road, so unscheduled stop there, I think. As Giroux is almost 3 laps down, but he is the first car lap down. James Silver is going to be the first one on the lead lap to pit road here, lap 120. As Ryan Strunk coming with him. This is where it gets very tricky. This is one of those tracks where if I'm the leaders, I'm waiting to pit. I'll take the loss of track position because it just seems like no matter what, the yellow flag comes out during green flag pit stops. And here's Matthew Weeks, one of the first to pit road of the leaders. Weeks into a stall. Casey Carrington to pit road. Weeks with a lot better entry into his pit stall this time by. Left side tire is going to go up right about now. And 14.5, great stop for Weeks. That makes up for what seems to have been a slow day on pit road so far for him. Here's Carrington to pit road in the 9. .9, he pulls away. Nick Goen on pit road. Zach Rogers, Mike Husby. He's going into his stall. I believe the speed limit's what, 45 here at Darlington, if I remember correctly. It's 14.8 there, and I see an 11.3 here. Zach Rogers in that 19 car, 2 tire stop. That's the first one of those tonight. And McOrder now leads it by 3.2 seconds after the pit stops. Of course, unfortunately, a little bit slower laps than most of these leaders. As Leo and Zach Rogers come to pit road now. And Rogers had actually just pitted, so Not sure if you meant to take 4 tires and only took 2 or what the deal is there. And Justin Thompson with trouble. At least he said he was in trouble. He is actually on pit road. That was weird. It gave me the highlight. He had crashed. But 3 is on pit road. Let's see what just happened here. 88. Oh, no. As Bellinger got the wall right in front of Thompson. And then he misses the entrance to pit road. That's not going to help things. As Nick Sargent and Stan Carnathan come to pit road. And here comes the leader. Spence Thompson coming in there behind him. So got plenty of cars that have not come to pit road. They pitted at lap 89. They've got a couple cars that pitted at 99 who are yet to come to pit road. As McWhorter overshoots his pit stall slightly. As 4 tires and fuel for both these cars. McWhorter pulls away 14.4, but you saw him have to back up just a skosh to get into his pit stall here. Now the question, how much time did McWhorter lose, not only with the older tires, but with that mistake? So now the leader is Christopher Heller in the 8 car. Charles Van Schaik second. Murphy third. Dean fourth. Rosenberg up to the top 5 now. Now Heller pitted at 89, so he'll have to be on pit road here, I would say, relatively quickly. Chris doing a good job, just been top 5 in it throughout the night. Now he's going to try to get himself a little tire advantage here. As back here, cars scrambling everywhere as Dean's going to go to second. I think he had a couple cars with fresh tires trying to come up here through the field. Ooh, tight off turn 2, gonna make it 3 wide. As Spence Thompson timed that one out perfect. He made it 3 wide off the corner and was able to go by both of them. As there's Mark Whitley there behind the 21. Mark up to the 6th position right now. Stephen Miles back there in 7th. Miles been kind of struggling to get through the pack here a little bit also. Off of turn 4, when do these guys come to pit road? Or they're playing the caution games, what they're doing. So the first car on the freshest tires here right now is 12th place Matthew Weeks. He's about 18 seconds or so behind the leader. You guys are racing hard right now. All out of shape there. 21 trying to hold on. There's Stephen Miles behind them in that one car as he tries to work his way through. And speaking of working our way through the schedule already as we hit Michigan Speedway next week, virtually on iRacing next Friday night, 8:15 Eastern Time, here on the Captain eSports Network. As a lot of these spots right here for position. Everybody got to be patient with the older tires and the newer tires. Oh, and around goes the Dean Machine and Rosenberg and then Barkuski and the 23 Ruiz. And there's the caution that all these cars staying out are looking for. With 11 laps to go, what happened here? As Dean gets a little bit high, hits that turn 2 wall. And unfortunately, Rosenberg nowhere to go. Going to end his great run he was having here tonight. We'll come back to this, but here come the leaders to pit road now. And this is going to give all these guys fresher tires than the crew that had to come to pit road here. And, well, I don't know. This is going to be tricky to see here because you've got a ton of cars that have pitted. So they're going to be back a little bit here. And with what could be 7 or 8 laps to go, can they get up here through the field and make this move? Well, this is going to get really interesting here. Let's go back and see this again. Yeah, I think Dean just saw the 24 there, pokes his nose, and unfortunately, the wall he goes into Rosenberg, and everybody just wrecks, unfortunately, here. It's going to hand the lead to the guys that were up front. Matthew Weeks, Casey Carrington, James Silvers. However, I look down here at the 10th position is where I see the fresh tires with Christopher Heller, Mark Whitley, Stephen Miles. Things are going to get really interesting. And you know somewhere else where things get really interesting at, because you can bring somebody who's never done. How about this? Let's play a little simulation here. Let's get Christopher Heller goes and gets mom, Patty, and brings Patty over to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and gets on a rig at my good friend Mark's MC Racing in downtown, where Patty can enjoy what Chris does and do some sim racing. It can happen, and you can come check it out too. They're in downtown. And a big shout out to Mark for what he does, setting up multiple rigs right there, and you can come in and do some sim racing and even some practice if you got a big race coming up, or some official sessions. You want to run one of his rigs, you can. You can just go right in there and talk to Mark, and he'll take care of you. Big shout out to him there. In Fort Wayne here, MC Racing. All right, going to get the restart here. 7 laps to go. You know, first thing you got to do is look out for spinning of the tires here. And then from there, it's get what you can get, because these guys on fresh tires are going to try to make moves. And I have a feeling that there could be some yellows quickly coming here. I hope I'm wrong, But we'll have to see who's going to win the 100th race in All-American Cup Series history. And again, a big shout out to everyone involved, from admins to the league officials to the drivers, the fans, everybody that's been involved in this. I've only been involved 60 races out of the 100, which I know is a good share, but there's been others that I haven't been a part of. But if you have seen your part in this All-American Cup Series, I salute you and congratulate you for being a part of 100 starts here in the All-American Cup Series. As we come to the green, Weeks leads. Carrington Silver's going in Husby are top 5, and Silver spins the tires about and wipes himself out off turn 4. Heller's off the pace. Somebody else back there off the pace. I think that is I don't know who it was. Might be Murphy. As against the wall goes the one of Miles. As Husby trying to hold off Whitley. Whitley going to zing on by with them tires. Here comes Miles. Oh, and Husby gets into Miles. But they save it. And around goes Justin Ray off the 21 of Murphy. No caution yet. Oof, that's a lick, and there's the caution. All started with a whole bunch of checking up. I saw Husby get loose, get up into the 1 car. And then I saw the 21 losing off turn 2. Oh, actually, I saw Ray get into the 21 there. I'm sorry, I didn't see that part. And unfortunately, here comes Vinosky in there, clobbers the 38. Ethier gets a lot of damage in that. Here's the big lick right here. Boom. All right, so caution with 4 laps to go. This race could be going to overtime here. So one more broadcast here left this week before we take the Labor Day weekend off, and that'll be tomorrow night from Eldora. And then we'll be off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and we'll come back Tuesday. And we're actually going across the seas for that league race Tuesday night at Monza. So looking forward to some fun racing, but I do appreciate all the viewers. Great view numbers here, great viewers. I think this is now the 4th. Let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, today's Thursday. I'm so used to this league being on Friday still. This is now 4 out of 5 nights this week. We've had 20 plus viewers. Check us out here on the Captain eSports Network, and in that 4th one, we about hit 20 at one point. So thank you guys for coming back and hanging out, and let's keep this up, keep the momentum going. Even though we'll have 3 nights off, would love to see you guys back here next week. Hit that subscribe button and be back with the captain. And hopefully by the time we see each other next week, there will be a surprise for you. And it'll be a surprise that viewers will like. All right, cars are going to double up. So the front, let's count the cars here really quickly. The front 6 cars are on the older tires. The question is, can Mark Whitley get up there and battle for this thing? Can Leo, any of these guys on the fresher tires, go to victory lane here tonight? As green flag and somebody's spinning. 81-24 gets turned, and we're definitely going to overtime now. Forgive me, I have a little bit of a bug issue here, which is the ticker. Gotta get that fixed here in just a second. I hit the wrong button and screwed something up. Car spinning the tires, and you see the 97 of Strunk get turned. He double zero, and then bam. Strunk gets flipped on its lid. Jose Ruiz, the other car involved. This is what happens. You get these older tires with the horsepower on them. Can cause all types of issues. A little bit of a check up there. Miles gets the bump, and you see Leo gets the outside wall. Actually had another wreck up there with the 24 getting turned, it looks like. Let's look at it one more time from Sargent. Okay, and there's contact with Barkuski, and then the 14 turns him. So caution out as we'll have our second overtime now. I'm sorry, this will be the first overtime because it would be the second overtime. As we're coming up to complete lap 148 there, this would have been the checkered flag right here. So yeah, this will be attempt number 2 at overtime. Weeks, Carrington, Silvers, McWhorter going. How about how this is all setting up now? You got nominee for the Hall of Fame just announced today. Matthew Weeks leading this race. Loves his track, could go to victory lane. Casey Carrington, who is on his 100th start, obviously. He's made every race. And could he win the 100th race? That would be interesting. And then sliding into the 6th position now, here comes Mark Whitley with the fresher tires. And you can't help but wonder now if Whitley wins this race, he would tie for the all-time wins in series history. So there's a lot of potential history in this restart here that could happen. Should get one to go this time by. All right, here we go. Coming to the restart. 2 laps to go. Yeah, I'm here. I'm just watching. As Weeks leads them to the green. Here we go. Contact back towards 6th. Everybody separates and is okay. Miles 3 wide back here. Into the wall goes Miles with Heller. Here comes Ethier into the play. No caution still. We're still green. Miles is in trouble, unfortunately. Can he get back to the white flag? And they do. One last shot here is white flag for Matthew Weeks. As Darlington is led up to its usual nature here with wild racing throughout the night. The 100th race in All-American Cup Series history is going to go to Matthew Weeks, who wins at Darlington. As Carrington ends up second, McWhorter third. Silvers and go in your top 5. As Weeks going to celebrate. Weeks with his 8th career win tonight. And of course, his first of the season. Has been part-time here at the beginning, running part-time throughout the season. He said he loved Darlington and went out there and I know led close to the most laps tonight. He and McWhorter led the most laps this evening. And his only other start here this season so far has been at Chicagoland, where he finished 29th. But Weeks happy to celebrate here in Victory Lane tonight in the Southern 200. as he becomes the 4th winner here in Darlington and 4 starts in the All-American Cup Series. As let's take a look at the final results here. As Weeks wins it over Carrington. McWhorter 3rd, Silvers 4th, Nick Goen 5th, Mark Whitley 6th, Spence Thompson 7th, Nick Leo 8th, Austin Bloom 9th, and Christopher Heller 10th. How about Austin Bloom with a good 9th place run? Mike Husby 11th, Nick Sargent 12th, Josh Dillon 13th, Dylan Rosenberg 14th, and Stan Carnathan finishing in the 15th position. 16th going to Kyle Ether, Stephen Miles 17th, Christopher Murphy 18th, Charles Van Shank 19th, Brad Delft 20th, Ruiz 21st, John Osborne 22nd, Zach Rogers 23rd, Brandon Barkuski 24th, and Daniel Giroux ends up in the 25th position with Justin Ray, Ryan Strunk, Dan Legowski, Jake Vanoski, and Craig Martin, your top 30. The Dean Machine finishing 31st, Justin Thompson 32nd, Tyler Bellinger 33rd, Steve Ritter 34th, Matt Schlosser 35th, Trevor McLaughlin 36th, Kyle Hall 37th, Lilith Peters 38th, Matthew Carsborough 39th, and Hunter Cannon finishing in the 40th position here tonight. It's good to see a full field here at the Darlington Raceway. As we'll talk to our 3rd place finisher who's sitting up here in the waiting room waiting for us is Joseph McWhorter joins us. Joe, good to have you back. Obviously, I believe you've been down there doing the whole endurance event in Daytona, but good to see you back here tonight. A good top 3 finish as you definitely showed you were one of the 2 faster cars tonight.
Season, unfortunately, so it was good to have some speed. We got killed kind of early at the first race of the season, so it's good to be out here and show speed and lead laps, and kind of traded it back and forth between Matthew and I. It seemed like Matthew was better on the second half of the run. I was better on the first half, so yeah, it was a good race. We had some green flag runs. Strategy was a little bit of a bummer. We had a really good shot to win there, but I made a mistake on pit road on that last pit stop and just didn't execute there on that last stop. I executed all night long on the pit road and kept beating Matthew, but didn't do a very good job there on the green. So, but yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed in that. Could have had 2nd there, but Casey got a little bit tight coming out of 4, and we ended up getting in the wall, so that was a little bit of a bummer as well.
Obviously, the picture for you, I think, is going to be that overall standings. I know you entered a little ways back, but still, obviously, plenty of time contention-wise. So to have that chance to still compete at a championship this season's got to be something promising. And finishing 2nd in a wild race like this, or I'm sorry, 3rd in a wild race like this, got to be a good feeling.
Well, no, because unfortunately, like I said, I'm on a partial schedule. I'm only going to be here every other week, so I'm just here for basically trophy hunting at this point.
Fair
So because with them switching from Fridays to Thursdays with my new schedule at work or this new job, every other week I don't get home until late Thursday night. So it's kind of if I can make it on every other Thursday, I'll be here. But yeah, for right now, I'm just going to be here for half the season, basically.
Fair enough. Well, hate to see that, but obviously I know work comes first, as they say in life, unfortunately. But still, good effort here tonight at Darlington. 3rd place finish. Send some shouts who we like to.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Red Camel Racing. They've been an awesome partner of mine. Hopefully we'll have our real-life car out on racetrack here before too awful long. They've been an awesome partner. Go check them out at redcamelracing.com. They've got fire suits and workwear, all the flame-retardant work gear you need. They even have some bike wear, like riding jackets and stuff, so go check them out. ReaperSpeedLabs.com. Go check them out at ReaperSpeedLabs.com. Harpoon Design, Brantley does an awesome job spotting me and Mark every week. Beautiful paint schemes that you see on Mark and I's cars every week. So go check them out at harpoondesign.com. Driven Motorsports, my teammates, Mark, Brantley, John, everybody on the Driven Motorsports side of things. You for putting on the broadcast. My girlfriend's mom for watching. Thank you for watching. She's here every time I race. She's always watching, so thank you. And the admins for an awesome job. All the drivers for putting on a really good race with 40 cars, too. That was awesome. So, looking forward to, I don't even know what, not Michigan, but whatever's after Michigan.
I think it's Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville Super Speedway. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
There you go. Great job tonight, man. Congratulations. Best of luck in real life.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Joseph McWhorter there in the third place finisher here this evening. Appreciate his time as always, as he does a good job there with that Driven Motorsports team. And the man came up a little bit short in that 100th race to get the win. It would only be fitting for the guy that got his 100th start tonight. He's made all the races here tonight. Or not tonight. That'd be interesting to run 100 races in one evening. But needless to say, Casey, great run. Obviously, it was a little bit of a battle there towards the end with pit strategies and cautions flying around. And you and Weeks and McWhorter, they're going to battle for second.
Yeah, I kind of screwed myself in qualifying. And by kind, I mean I completely did. I only spent about 10 laps of this race in clean air. And yeah, evidently that matters in this car now. It used to not really, dirty air wasn't too big of a deal, but I have never in my life had so much trouble passing at Darlington as I did tonight. So, yeah, I mean, make the best of it. Second place, hey, and Matthew was the class of the field, him and McWhorter, so to split them and finish between them, I'm not going to complain about that, even though I wanted to win this one bad.
Obviously. And, you still gained 13 positions, and, I mean, you did it slowly but surely, man. 147 laps, you were working your way through the whole entire way. And obviously showed that you had a pace that probably had a top 5 car, and you fit right in here in second.
Yeah, I mean, I had probably pace to finish where I did anyway. I don't know if I would have beaten Matthew, or maybe I don't know if I'd been able to hold off McWhorter if it had went green. So I guess I finished where I probably should have pace-wise. But yeah, it was just one of those things. It took me until that last green flag pit cycle and the like 3 laps I got after I passed all the cars on old tires to be able to stretch my legs and run hard in clean air. And just as an example, Matthew was saying he was down to like 79% on his right sides there at the end. I had like 85, so that just shows the difference in how much I had to check up in traffic. And yeah, man, it sucks. I really thought I was gonna be able to come out here and go back to back at Darlington, but maybe the pace wasn't there. I guess we'll never know. I guess I could look at lap times, but like I said, I didn't have really the clean air that they did. So second place is usually a good thing, but I am a little disappointed.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, I guess it's a good thing when you can be mad at finishing second, right?
Yeah, I mean, a different track, maybe I'd feel differently, but this is, this place, it's my baby. It's the first time in like 5 league races that I haven't won here, so.
There you go. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout-outs.
Shout out to you for doing the broadcast. I kind of did the shout-outs at the start of the race when he interviewed me, which I'm going to blame you for my poor qualifying effort.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Because, yeah, usually it doesn't throw me off, but at this place it did. Had nothing to do with me knocking the water out of my first lap. It was definitely you interviewing me 5 minutes before. But no, shout out to everybody that watched tonight, man. I know it got kind of hectic there towards the end. We got a lot of pissed off drivers in the garage area, but yeah, I mean, it was, hopefully it was entertaining. That was about as good of a race as you're going to get with Darlington, I guess, and that hot, slick track. Shout out to Steve Ritter, Leaf Guard of Vermont, being the premier partner in the first half of the season. Shout out to Matthew for getting the win. He kind of deserved one. He was kind of owed one for Darlington, so I'm not going to complain too much. God, who else? Shout out to my teammates, everybody at CX2 Racing, everybody that squats in my channel now. Hell, we got half the field in there. And that's pretty much it. I feel like I'm forgetting one, man.
It happens.
Is there one I'm forgetting? I shouted out you.
I mean...
Hell, I don't know. Shout out to everybody that watched, and like I said, shout out to the blood pressures of all the drivers that got wrecked tonight, because it was pretty rough on the radio there towards the end. So I'm going to go do a
Sim Racer
3 hour... Yes, shout out to Sim Racer Hub, Quint, and everything he does with the All-American Showdown. I got some good points for that tonight. And anyway, let's get Matthew in here before he passes out.
Yeah, do that. And I think I'm hearing rumors that somebody's stolen a duck out of a Jeep and thrown it at somebody. So I got to go confirm that.
I don't get that reference, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave the channel.
The duck's in a Jeep?
What?
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm going back to my channel.
Please do.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. How's he not get the ducks in the Jeep? Anyways. All right, Matthew Weeks, going to bring him in here as he goes to victory lane here tonight. And Matthew, obviously, congratulations. You showed you definitely had the long-run car, but it came down to the short runs in the end. And you were able to put this thing together from the pole and go to victory lane here. And what a way to finish out a night of being put in the Hall of Fame and everything.
Couldn't ask for anything better than that, man. I was surprised at the end I had that much good, short run pace with the older tires to be able to keep it. I was kind of worried for a second. But I'm just glad to win the race, man. The struggle of league racing the past month and the bad luck, other series, there's been like I'm leading, dominating, should win, late caution, and then I get screwed. Like, so it's just finally good to have some good luck finally.
Well, obviously, it was a interesting finish there with the cautions and the strategy and everything playing out. When that yellow came out, did you feel like you guys were in a good position with the older tires, even though it looked like the guys behind you were going to have the freshies, or was this one of those where it was like, okay, I got to watch in the mirror and make sure they don't catch me?
Yeah, it was. I was paying attention to my mirror. The tire difference is so crazy. How much faster fresh tires are. So I was worried, but when I noticed they were like, I think they're like 10th or 12th, right in there, I was like, okay, they got a little bit of challenge because they got to race around other guys too. But yeah, I was surprised I was able to hang on. To be honest with you, I thought they were just gonna fly by us within a lap because when I pitted, what was it, 120, and I come out, I was flying by lap cars. I was actually using the bottom in 1 and 2 to go around guys. That's how much better the tires were. So I'm surprised I was able to keep it.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations on your 8th career win. Obviously, I know you're part-time also this season, but the Hall of Fame deal and winning the 100th race here at All-American History and getting revenge on last season here at Darlington. So send some shout-outs.
Shout out, Casey on the league. I've been here for, I don't know how many seasons, 4, 5, 6, I don't know. I just like racing here. It's always fun and can't wait to come back full-time next season. I'm hating being part-time. Shout out to you, Chris. I tell you all the time, man, you do a hell of a job by yourself on running this, and you're one of the best broadcasters here on the sim and everything, dude. I just love what you do. Everyone that raced tonight, McWhorter and all those guys up front, we raced hard and clean, so that was good stuff. And everyone that watched, I'm reading the comments. Someone wants to know where I'm from. I'm from Kentucky. All right, the good old state of Kentucky.
Virginia. I thought it was Virginia for some reason. Okay.
Nope.
Somewhere over
Literally, Lexington, Kentucky. I'm like 10 minutes away from the
dear.
campus.
That guy. Oh, dear. All right, you're cut off.
And then shout out, JD Designs. He made this scheme years ago, and I want to change it, but I went part-time, so we didn't. But I want to hit up my buddy Justin. Shout out to JV Designs too. He paints my other cars. I'm gonna get him to hook me up one next season, and I can't wait to come back full-time.
It's gonna be a lot of fun watching, man. Congratulations, and since you referenced Kentucky, R.I.P. to one of the best quarterbacks of all time, Jared Lawrence. Putting it out.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you, man. You have a good one.
You too, buddy. Matthew Weeks, the winner here tonight at Darlington, as he gets that 8th career win, the first win this season, and going to go celebrate with his team. And yeah, that what a race. That was a fun one to do. And you have to forgive me because the energy meter on me right now is low. It's been a very long week. It's been hot. I've been out there delivering packages, and yeah, we're struggling here. We're going to get some sleep and try to rest. So, and it was a fun race to call, though. Appreciate all the viewers, and appreciate, obviously, the Leaf Guard of Vermont for being a part of the series here and being the sponsor, or the presenting partner, I keep getting that wrong, of the All-American Cup Series along with Sim Racer Hub. But big shout out to the viewers. Thanks for listening and stuff and helping me out and being able to chat with you guys. It's been awesome. But we're going to do it again tomorrow night. We'll do some dirt racing from Eldora. But next week it is Michigan for these guys in the All-American Cup Series. And should be a lot of fun. Let's check really quickly before I go because I want to see if the points are updated. They might not be. I know Casey's got some other things he does now. Let's see really quickly. Stand by. Oh, there's something here. So we got point standings. So, all right, let's get you the point standings really quickly here in the series. As holy cow, James Silver's actually leading the points now after 4 races here. I promise you, just got to do a little snipping and stuff here really quickly. Casey Carrington's second in points. Stephen Miles, Justin Thompson, and Mark Whitley are top 5 as we go to Michigan next week. Bear with me here. We talk about Darlington and Darlington stripe. Well, the captain is hitting that wall himself now. So we're, yeah. We're almost there. Then, of course, I did read it's supposed to be like 90 degrees here again tomorrow. Anyways, there's your point standings. Let me widen this out just a little bit for you. James Silvers leads by 12 over Casey Carrington. 23 back is Miles. Thompson, 25 back. Mark Whitley, 25 back. Heller, Thompson, that's Spence Thompson. By the way, he's missed a start, and he's up there in 7th, so a good start to his career here. Osborne, Giroux, and Charles Van Schaik, your top 10 as we enter next week at Michigan. So there you go. How we shape up here tonight. So, again, appreciate everybody for hanging out here this evening. We're going to head out. Always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.